So if you've been following me through the Limitless Living Health Action Plan, we built momentum, we built habits, but Blueprints asks a new question. How do you make it whole? Because success isn't sustained by effort, it's sustained by design. I'm 33 hours right now into this week's fast. And this one's special because it's the first fast inside of our brand new Blueprint series, Living by Design. And so I'm excited that you're here. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm new. If you're new to me, I'm Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. If you are new, go ahead and put new in the comments because I'd love to welcome you with a hand clap and some music to let you know that I am so excited that you're here. Whatever platform you are on, we are welcoming you. If you are new to us and you have joined us from watching our content on your church's website, church's newsletter, if you are here because you saw it in your broadcast, I welcome you. Special shout out to our folks from Atlanta Berean in Atlanta, Georgia, to our folks from Riverside Chapel in Nashville, Tennessee, and our folks from Magazine Street Chapel in Louisville, Kentucky. So thank you for coming through, and thank you for hanging out and being with us as we continue to work on our health. I'm glad that you are here. If you are part of our accelerator program, thank you for coming through as well. And I know we have some new folks who have joined us. So I am so excited that we are all working on this path and working on this journey together. We've got some good things that we're going to take a look at here in just a little while. I've got my monitors and I've got my glucose meters that we're going to take a look at so you can see what's been going on with my blood sugar over the last little while as we have continued to fast over the last several days. We'll take a look at that. I am excited because we also are in our Move campaign. If you've not been there yet and you've not seen that, that is our current iteration, if you will, of the things that we're doing in terms of getting a physical activity in our health action plan. So make sure that you get over there and you join us. Why don't we go ahead and let's actually do that promo right now. So let's let me show you this first. Here is and this is what we're going to be taking a look at. I've got my monitors. I've got my report right down below. But let's go ahead and let's take a look at that promo for our Move. Welcome to Move, metabolic optimization via exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is Move. Let's get started. All right. So I'm very excited about that. That's been a very important and for me personally and for the community at large. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what's been going on with my blood sugars. Here is my Freestyle Libre. And you'll see right here, my blood sugar is 62 right now. So we are right now 33 hours into this week's fast. And there's my blood sugar, 62. Down below, you'll see that my blood sugar, the white part of that graph means that it was above 70. And then, of course, the red part says that we're below 70. And so for most of the afternoon into the evening, I've been below 70. And as you see right now, right at 62. And looking at the reports, let's look at this. My time in range for the last 7 days, you see this big number right here, 87%. and then down below 13%. So combining those, that gives you 100%. And the lows that you're seeing there are usually during the time when I'm fasting. Jumping over to our 90-day average, or time in range, you'll see there that we're 85% in range with 15% lows, once again during fasting. Coming out of that and then seeing what my blood sugars are, and right in this line right here, you'll see that was my average blood sugar, 89. That's for 7 days, and I can scroll through, and here's 14-day, 87, 30 days, 87, and then of course 90 days gives us an 88. And then down below, we can actually look at the different times of the day to see what's been going on with my blood sugar during that time. And I love this because it allows me to pinpoint different times of the day and see what's going on with blood sugars at that time. And then let's go ahead and we're going to go over to my Dexcom. And similarly, my Dexcom says right now my blood sugar is 91, that number there. And then coming down to the graph for the last 12 hours, you'll see there. And let's go ahead and I'll take my finger and kind of run it through. And you see what my blood sugars have been running over the last 12 hours. So 126 there earlier this morning, 120s, 1-teens, low 100s down to 105 there at one point, 102 I saw there. Oh, yeah, look at that. Let's go back, see if we can find that. Yeah, right there, 102. And then kind of fluctuating right around 100, dip down below 90 or below 100 there for a little bit. And then back up above 100 and the low 100s, 90s. And so notice right around here, so we've been straddling 100, 101, 102, 104. And then right here, we started getting below 100 and basically kind of staying more often below 100 than we were as we got later into the evening down to where we are right now, okay? And then let's go ahead and let's hop over and let's take a look at what's been going on with my monitors. I've got my Keto Mojo, I've got my Contour, and let's get into our container. We get a brown for blood sugar and blue for ketones. And then here are some strips for the Contour. And let's get this situated a little bit more, right about there. And let me get a Lancet. And so a couple of Lancets actually, just to make sure that we get that finger stick properly. And let's go ahead and let's open this up and get a strip for the Contour. Get that in there. Open up the blood sugar strip for the Keto Mojo. And at the same time, I'm going to open up the one for ketones. And what do you think my ketones are going to be, by the way? Let's go ahead and get this open. Go ahead and put your guess in there. And I'll just leave this off to the side. Let's get this down a little bit. There we go. And leave this off to the side so that I don't have to stick myself again. All right. All right, and this is our Lancet. Get that open, find a finger, and right there, and ow. And let's see, yep, looks like we got a pretty good drop there. Need one for that, and then one for the Contour. Boom. All right, so we'll see what that shows. And while that's going, I'm going to go ahead and try to keep that drop going so that we can. Oh, so look at that. So 72 from the Keto Mojo, 72 from the Contour, and then let's go back over here and let's see what this guy says. So 95 for the Dexcom, and going back here for the Libre, it says that I'm 62. So the Libre and the Contour and Keto Mojo are 10 points apart, and then the Dexcom is 95. So So 85, 95. So that's about almost 20 points different between the two. Okay. All right. So now let's get this out and get the ketone strip in here. And let's get this off the table and let's see what this is. So let's go ahead and get this started. And I see some people putting guesses in there already. All right, what do you think it's going to be? What do you think it's going to be? All right, and 4, 3, 2, and 1. So 0.9 is what it is. And I saw someone came pretty close. I saw Cornelia put a 0.8 in there, so pretty close there. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to pull this over with my Keto Mojo app. Go ahead and get it synced and just make some brief comments about ketones. So ketones, when we talk about ketones that are less than 0.5 are normal, 0.5 to 1.5 considered nutritional ketosis, and then above 1.5 considered therapeutic ketosis, and mine is right now 0.9, so that means that I'm in nutritional ketosis. We're looking at these numbers right here. We got that big number in the circle, and then glucose down below 72, and then ketones 0.9. So we want ketones to be high, we want glucose to be low normal, and then we want the GKI, which is this number right here, to be low as well. Okay, so we'll talk more about that as we get into fasting. Come on back on Friday. We do a complete review of fasting, how to prepare for the fast, how to get through the fast, and then how to break the fast. And you get to see what I eat for the first time after 72 hours, by the way. So make sure that you join us. If you've not looked at our show where we showed what we ate as the last meal, that would be a good one to look at as you compare what these numbers are. Okay? Now let's go ahead and let's take a look at my monitor, or my glucose, my report from my Dexcom Clarity. And you'll see there that my average blood sugar right now is 121. That's for 14 days. We usually tell people we want their average blood sugar to be between 100 and 120, so pretty close there. I'm in target, in range 99% of the time, range being anywhere from 70 to 180, and my glucose management indicator is a 6.2. So if I were to get an A1C based on these blood sugars, this is what I would expect it to be. Okay? If I look at my 90-day average now, for my blood sugars, average there is 117, time in range 98, target 70 to 180, just as we had before, and then of course my glucose management indicator is a 6.1. So once again, if I were to get an A1C, I would expect it to approximate that. Now let's take a look at what's been going on blood sugar wise since I've been fasting. And so today, so we started our fast right in here, so right about there. So blood sugar is 120, and then let's take a look and trace back what's been going on since then. So 120, 130s, and make sure you see what I ate, by the way. 130s, 120s, right, 120s, 130s, 140 was the highest that I saw there. And then down into low, it dipped down a little bit here in 119, 120s, 127, 128, into the evening, and then this morning into the low teens, low 100s, and then this now is getting back to what we saw earlier, and you see it kind of fluctuates there right around 100, got up to 120 there, 124, 121, 128. Oh, let me go back. So right, I saw 128 in here somewhere. Okay, all right, 125, and then down to what we're seeing right now as it continues dropping as we got closer and closer to this evening, and then down now into the low 100s and of course in the 90s. Awesome. All right, so that is that's always good to see. We'll talk more about fasting and so forth as we do our complete fast review on Friday. So come on back so that you can see what's been going on. All right, so let's go ahead and say hello to some of our community members. I see you out there. I see Gian. Hey Gian, how are you? Let's go ahead and get that up on the screen. She says, hi doctor, hi LLG. And Cornelia says, hi doc. Gian and LG, yay, 33 hours. Can you believe it? Yeah, 33 hours. And by the way, if you fasted with us over the course of yesterday, go ahead and put a 1. So that was the first day. If you're fasting today, so you started with us today when we did our check-in, and you're going into tomorrow, put a 2. And then if you're going to start tomorrow, put a 3. So 1 for yesterday, you ended today. 2 if you started today and ending tomorrow. And then 3 if you're starting tomorrow and ending on Friday with us. Okay? All right, so 33 hours. Gian is smiling. Gian says she's 44 hours into the fast. Congratulations, because I know you started a little bit before us. Gian is guessing 0.7, and we were 0.8. Cornelia says, great job, sis. I ended up having dinner with my hubby, so I'm actually at 24 hours. 24 hours, come on, yeah, that's nothing to sneeze at. Great job, sis, 24 hours. Cornelia said, I stopped wearing the CGM, and Gian asked if she was wearing it before. I see. I'm using a Keto Mojo meter. Okay, that's the one that I use. So if you're looking for a meter, there are several on the market. Keto Mojo happens to be the one I use, and several of our community members use the same one. Gian says, I love your flexible plan when it comes to family. That is true, because we want to make sure that our fasting is fitting into our lives. Okay, so remember, sometimes fasting doesn't work, not because fasting doesn't work, but because the way we have it structured, it is interrupting our lives, and it causes friction. Cornelia says she had the Dexcom 7, but she wants to try a different one. Yeah, so there are several on the market. Well, I shouldn't say several. There are the big ones, right? The Libre, the Dexcom, and of course the Stelo is the over-the-counter one. There are some companies now that are going to be coming out with various ones, but those are the major ones that you'll see here on the market. OIC, thank you for sharing. Keto Mojo is manual, but also you have your glucose and ketones digitally. Yes, and you can bring it into the app. Cornelia is guessing 0.8. I think Keto Mojo is more good than others. They all provide good benefit. And in fact, there are people who don't use the meters. They also there's the breath, keto, and of course now, so as soon as I said that, but anyway, it's a breathing. You breathe it, and so you use your breath for that. There is of course, the ones that we use, which is the finger stick, and there's also the urine strips that you can use. So several ways to do it. I like the finger stick because, well, let me compare it to the strips. It takes longer for ketones to show up in your urine. So when you're testing it, even though it says you're negative, you can actually have ketones. And then it takes longer for ketones to go away. So when it says that you are positive, ketones could be gone. So that's one of the reasons I like the finger stick. It's more real time, if you will. Okay. Let's see. So Gian says, wow, 0.9. Okay. And Cornelia says, you're welcome. Where did you get the Keto Mojo? I don't see it in a pharmacy. You can get that online. So several places you can get it. I bought mine on Amazon. So lots of different places you can get. And like I said, there are several that are out there on the market. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead, y'all, and let's jump into our discussion for this evening. And we're talking about, we're at 33 hours into this week's fast. Let's go ahead and get into that. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about what fasting reveals about structure. I'm 33 hours into this week's fast. You'll see that everything you're learning physiologically is also a metaphor for how to build a life that holds transformation. And fasting, we talk about the physiologic benefits of fasting, but there are benefits that come from fasting in lots of different areas. As we talk about fasting, we're using fasting as a tool for righting our metabolism. That is the transformation of the food that we eat into energy is what metabolism is. And when there's dysfunction there, then we end up with those chronic diseases, chronic illnesses that we see. And so fasting is one of those tools that we use as part of the process. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on when we're fasting. And so in fasting, we are seeing lots of physiologic changes. We're seeing hormonal changes. We're seeing changes in how our body is regulating blood sugar. And all of that is important because it allows us, if we understand what's going on in the body, it allows us to target and pinpoint different types of fasting, different foods that we can eat leading into fasting, and we can regulate what's going on in our body by the things that we do. So let's talk about design principle number 1. Structure creates stability. Structure creates stability. Principle number 1. At around 30 to 33 hours into a fast, your body, your blood sugar is no longer swinging, right? So this volatility that we see, insulin has leveled off. Your liver is calmly releasing glucose. Your body is saying, I found my rhythm. That's structure. That's structure that is built into the body. It's inevitable, but it's holding you. So when your body is going through its thing, right? So sometimes we're not even thinking about what's going on in the body, and it is structurally doing what it's supposed to do because there's a rhythm that's built into the system. Think about the first 24 hours of any change. There's chaos, there's cravings, sometimes there's distractions going on if you've not done a good job of kind of preparing to get to where you are. But if you stay long enough, the system you built begins to carry you, particularly if you've been doing this for a while. Structure is what replaces motivation when motivation begins to fade. When I first started fasting, I was doing a 16-8, I did a 12-12, I did a 24 sometimes. We didn't venture into the extended fasts for quite a while, but we were doing the 16-8s like a lot of people are doing, and we're doing the intermittent fasting, and we saw some benefits. But when we stopped doing that, then those benefits went away. And the intermittent fasting was actually being done in an intermittent way. Okay? So I would intermittent fast. Oh, I'll do that for 2 days this week. Next week I'll do it for 1 day. And the next week I didn't do anything at all. So it was kind of haphazard. And so remember that the benefits that we get that come from fasting, these are when we are regularly doing the things that are involved in our fasting. So let's apply this concept. If your mornings always start in panic, like there's always stuff going on, you're never prepared, you don't need more motivation, you need morning structure. I hear this all the time. People come into the office and they say, oh, I wish I had better motivation. And so I say, well, tell me what's going on. And as I listen to them, it's not a motivation problem. It's a structure problem. If you keep breaking your fast because dinner time is chaos, you don't need more willpower. You need environmental structure, right? Right? We need to align what we're doing with a system that takes us there. And so fasting, when you're fasting, as you go through the process of getting things in a way that allows you to fast successfully, what you're actually doing is you're not just fixing the fasting, you're fixing the things around you that allows you to make a decision to do something that's good for your health. Right? So principle number one is that structure creates stability. So here's a question for you. Where in your life are you still relying on motivation when you could be relying on design, by designing the thing that you need? And that brings us to principle number two, that rhythm is built, not found. Your hormones operate on rhythm. Ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone, controls your peaks, your hunger, and the spikes in your, I'm going to say appetite, but not necessarily appetite, because appetite, remember, is a brain thing, but the hunger that you feel is regulated by ghrelin. Cortisol helps to wake you up in the morning. You think it's the alarm clock, but it's actually cortisol. Melatonin winds you down at the end of the day. All of these are built on a rhythm. When you fast repeatedly, those rhythms tighten. The first few hours of hunger feel random. Later, they're almost predictable. So as you do the fast more and more, you're like, okay, I'm going to start feeling this at this time. And because you're aware of it, it's easier for you to get through it. That rhythm is by design. Now imagine if your life had the same reliability, the same predictability. What if creativity, work, sleep, even joy were scheduled by design instead of by accident? As we talk about blueprints in our system, rhythm is one of our anchors because it transforms chaos into predictability, and our brain, our mind, all like predictable things. Now, we say that we like variety, but the body likes predictability because it's built on rhythm. The mind likes to be in a process where it understands what's going on. So last week, I realized that my energy was dipping, right, at certain times of the day. It wasn't the flaw, it was actually feedback. I shifted my walking schedule slightly, and I began drinking more water, and my productivity jumped. That's rhythm management, not willpower. I realized there was something going on, identified what was happening, made a change in my behavior and in what I did, and it resulted in improvement. That's rhythm management. Here's a question. What part of your day still feels unpredictable? What part of your day can become more rhythmic through an intentional choice or intentional design? Where you're actually looking at what's happening to you, how you feel, and saying, here's something that I see, I notice, let me make a change and see if it helps. So design. Principle number 3. Design is important, but environment shapes our execution. Yeah. So let's talk about surroundings. You can't out-discipline a chaotic environment. In fasting, environment means what's in the refrigerator, what's in the cabinet, what's in your car, what's in your study, what's on your desk. It means who's around you, the smells, the schedule, the screens. Every cue that's in your environment either supports the design or it sabotages it. Studies show that people who are pre-planning their fasting environment, they're planning their hydration, they're planning their workspace, they're planning their bedtime. it reduces cravings by up to 40%. Your environment is the scaffolding for your discipline. And when we talk about discipline, people often think that discipline is a inner power, inner strength. But discipline comes from regularity and comes from scheduling. And this goes far beyond fasting. If your phone is your alarm clock, your day starts with distraction. Right? Alarm clock, you grab it, boom. If your kitchen counter screams snack, your structure begins to erode. If your calendar doesn't match your values, your life drifts out of alignment. I heard someone say recently, show me your calendar and I'll tell you what's important to you. What is important to you? So we ask, what part of your environment is designed for the old you, and which part is designed for the new you? Because our environment shapes our execution. So if there's a problem there, rebuild it. Because discipline doesn't live in your willpower, it lives in your architecture. And that brings us to principle number 4. Feedback drives refinement. Feedback drives refinement. By 33 hours, your body's feedback is rich. We got lower insulin, higher growth hormone, gentle ketones begin to rise. You might feel sharper, calmer, slightly chilled. You might feel connections that are being made. That's not random, that's data. And that is input that says to you, hey, something is happening in my body. Something is going on. I am changing metabolically. Feedback is how your biology talks back to your design. One of the things I love about endocrinology, and I have a background in computer science. So when I learned about endocrinology, it made so much sense the way the body functions hormonally. Because there is a gland, for example, the pituitary gland, it sends a signal to the thyroid. And the thyroid produces a hormone, it does some stuff in the body, and then the hormone sends a signal back to the pituitary to say whether we're getting the benefit we want or we're not getting the benefit we want. If we're getting the benefit, hey, everything is great. Don't give me any more. If I'm not getting the benefit, hey, give me more so I can reach where I'm trying to go. Or you're giving me too much. But the body is constantly talking to itself. And the feedback that happens there is how biology talks back to you. This is by design. When I track my data on the CGM, when you track sleep quality, or you understand the heat model, those emotional triggers, you're collecting design metrics. In the same way, an architect is studying the stress points in a bridge, you study stress points in your system. Feedback is not failure. It's the invitation to refine. So here's the shift. Old mindset is I messed up my fast. Talking about feedback. The blueprint mindset says I just collected data to adjust my design. The old mindset says, man, my family caused me to break my fast. The new blueprint mindset says, hey, I've got to figure out how to make sure I can take care of my family and take care of my health at the same time. So I want you to listen to the signals. I want you to feel what's going on. The thirst, the clarity, clarity that comes. It's relentless. Each one is a diagnostic readout from the system that you're building. It's not a failure. I heard someone say, and I've quoted it before, I don't fail. I either improve or I learn. Oh, yeah. So remember that principle, that feedback drives refinement. And so here's some mindset integration. So we're going from effort to architecture. Let's zoom out a little bit. Effort gets attention, but architecture keeps progress. Motivation says, try harder. We're going to fast. We're going to white knuckle it. We got to get through this. We just need to last longer. Design says, let's build it smarter. Let's move in a way that allows us to begin learning how to fast, learning how to move, learning how to rest and restore, how to make sure that our mindset is being mastered. Let's work on building a system that takes us where we want to go. When you fast, you realize the body's wisdom, when you feel it, it doesn't argue with the clock. It simply follows the system that you gave it. Your life works the same way. Build your systems, your blueprints, so that the healthiest choice becomes the easiest choice. Let me say that again. Build your system. Those are your blueprints. So that the healthiest choice becomes the easiest choice. Often, the easiest choice in our environment, in our schedule, in our behavior is the thing that is not the healthiest. Let's switch that. Here's some anchor phrases that I want you to use in those moments. Don't build discipline around emotion. Build emotion around design. Don't build discipline around emotion, but build emotion around design. That means that I'm not going to rely on how I feel to push me in the direction of the things I need to do and I want to do. I'm going to put something in place so that regardless of the emotions that are happening, this design takes me in the direction of success. When design leads, efforts follow. If I have a system in place that is automating my progress, automating what I need to do, then my effort is going in that direction as well. I want you to take about 60 seconds. Right now, we're going to start with 30 seconds. And I want you to reflect. I want you to reflect and think about where it is in your life that you need to build a blueprint, that you need a different system. We're talking about fasting, but fasting actually reveals to us places in our lives where we can improve. It actually tells us also places in our life where we're having successes. So we don't want to just harp on the things that we're doing poorly. Let's think about the places where you're having successes and how can we replicate that? How can we make that automated? So 30 seconds right now. And then before you go to bed, we're going to take another 30 seconds and we're going to jot down and say, okay, what is it that I can do to move that success, that thought process, that idea into another area that now needs structure? Yeah? So let's go through this again in summary. So structure creates stability. If we're going to be successful, we need structure. That gives us the stability, just like when we're building a building, just like an architect, they have some stable structures so that when they raise the building, it lasts. Rhythm builds reliability. If we're going to be successful, there has to be a rhythm in our lives. It can't be random. Principle number 3, your environment shapes your execution. Just like anything in your life, what you surround yourself with affects the possibility of success, and it affects how well and how quickly and how long you head in that direction. And then principle number 4, feedback refines the system. The body's talking to you. Listen to the body. It is giving you signals. It is saying to you, hey, I need you to do. I need you to go. I need you to move. I need you to drink water. I need whatever it's saying. It is feedback. It's not failure. Even when you have said, hey, I'm going to fast for 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72, whatever the number is, and you don't quite make that, the question is not, or the concept is not that I failed. It is, what do I need to do so that my structure takes me there? So identify one structure that is working for you right now. And then how do I take whatever it is that's helping that work and I move it over to another area of my life that needs better structure right now? Maybe it's your best bedtime. Maybe it's the next fast. Maybe it's your workspace or your morning routine. Any of those are places where we can have success, are places where we can improve so that ultimately we are going in the direction of building those blueprints so that we can have a better, longer, healthier life. So fasting reveals something about our structure and about our processes. Let's listen so that we can be successful. All right. So fasting is a fascinating process. And I know that when I'm fasting, and I've said this to you before, when I'm approaching a fast, I get excited. I'm gonna pause, right? Because people are like, really? Yeah, well, I love when I'm approaching a fast, I get excited because well, let's talk physiology first. I get excited because I am righting, improving, correcting a lot of physiologic issues that come from dysfunctional metabolism and come from my history of poor self-care. And so, when I'm approaching a fast, I am doing something for myself. When I'm out with my son, and we're doing strength training, we're working out. At the end, we do a centering exercise, a grounding exercise. If you've not seen us do that, go ahead and watch our show, the Move campaign. We go through this process, and at the end, right? We do a little dap, fist bump, and I say to him, "We have just done something amazing. We've made a decision and we made a change in our lives and in our bodies." Because I want that concept to be something that is constantly in his mind, that he's doing something as we're doing this. That's for him. So when I'm fasting, when I'm going to a fast, I'm excited because I know I am doing something for my body, for my health. When I'm going to a fast, I get excited because the food noise goes away. There's no more worry about what I'm going to eat, when I'm going to eat, what, right? All of that is gone. And during the fast, I develop behaviors and attitudes and tools that I could not ordinarily develop or as quickly outside of the fast. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Often we use food as a buffer. Just like you probably use it as well. You know, when you're angry, when you're frustrated, when you're tired, when you're bored, when whatever emotion, we use food. Something happens at the job, and next thing we know, we're eating ice cream. Something happens with your spouse, and next thing you know, you're sitting down eating cookies, candies, and cake, right? So we use food. We're bored, so we eat to pass the time. You get the idea. Well, when I'm fasting, I don't have that crutch. I don't have that buffer anymore. So what does that force me to do? It forces me to live life on life's terms. I've got to now figure out a way to deal with whatever that thing is. So my coping skills have improved. My ability to deal with people has improved. My rest is getting better. Because I've realized that one of my triggers is fatigue. Whether I'm here in the studio doing something, doing a video, recording, fixing something, whatever it is, when I'm tired, I'm more likely to buffer with food than when I'm not. That should make sense. So remember, fasting is filling that gap for so many things. Tonight wasn't just about fasting, though. It was about recognizing the architecture that already exists inside you. So we design our fast and we design our lives. And the change will hold if we design that way. As we come to our 56-hour fasting check-in tomorrow, we'll talk about systems that sustain, how to build a life that holds the change. Right? Harkening back to our show on Monday, where we kicked off our Blueprint series. What does that look like? Come on back and hang out with us. And then on Friday, of course, we'll do our full check-in as we talk about how to prepare for the fast, how to get through the fast successfully, and then how to break the fast. I want to remind you that here, our goal is long, healthy life. And we do that by the Triple E formula for success. We educate, we empower, and we encourage. We educate with the shows, with the blogs, with the podcasts. We educate so to change your mindset, to give you a different perspective, to help you to look at things in a different way. We educate to help you to understand how your body works, how the things around you will affect your body. We educate you to understand that dysfunctional metabolism is not a life sentence. It is an opportunity to fix some things so that you can be around for a long, long time. And then we empower. We empower with the tools that we learn. Like we've gone through our series, the Limitless Living Health Action Plan. We've gone through Play Your Own Game, Finishing Strong. We're in a Blueprint series right now. We've got the Move campaign. So lots of places where you can plug in. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, and you can get involved. And wherever you are right now, there is a place that you can find that allows you to just jump in and get started right away. On our YouTube channel and on our website, the Start Here playlist is exactly that. So that you don't have to think through the process of, hey, what do I need to do? Get there, start watching the very first video. I know there are things that you want to know about. As you go through the videos, they'll point out different things, and you can go find those videos, but walk through the videos so that you get a comprehensive look at what needs to happen. We can all do something for a day, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, maybe even a year. But the question is not, can you do it now? The question is it going to last? So we educate, we empower, and we encourage with this amazing community that you are part of, that you're continuing to grow and continue to improve. We love when you come through. We love when you're here. We love when you share your story. We love when you share your challenges, because that enriches the community and allows us all to know that we are all walking this journey together. Because if you can do it, I can do it as well. The challenges that you have may be the exact challenges I'm having. And I may not feel like asking the question, but when you ask the question, then it helps me also to get that information. Okay, so we educate, we empower, and we encourage. If you've not joined our community yet, make sure you get to our website and join our accelerator program. This is an amazing way for us as a community to grow and to enhance and to help each other on the way. Okay, we educate, we empower, and we encourage. And the one thing that I want you to remember is that when it comes to food, the triggers that pull us away from that, right? In addition to the structure that we just talked about, the structure that you're building, understanding who you are and how the triggers affect you that's very important. And that's given by our HEAT model: habits, emotions, access, and taste. That is where often we will have our difficulties, because we don't understand those triggers, and those triggers will play at us and tug at us and pull us off of the path that we're on. Okay? We'll talk more about that in the future, but I just wanted to say that. Begin learning about yourself. Begin learning about how things around you, the food around you, the people around you, how those things affect you, so that when you're in the fast, 33 hours, 56 hours, 72 hours, when you're in the fast and something happens, you're more able to see it if you understood and if you've spent some time looking at it before. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and let's go back over and let's say hello to some of our community members. I hear some popping going on there. So let's see. So Jennifer popped in. Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer says, howdy all. Hey, Jennifer, thank you for coming through and hanging out with us. Cornelia saying, hey, Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer says, hi, ladies. Hello, Doc. What's going on? Use food. Use food is my thing. Yes, using food. Lots of us. Good night, all. Good night, Gian. Jennifer. Thank you, Doc. Kenty says, good night, friends. What's up, Kenty? Thank you for coming through. Smiley face. Happy to see you all. Hi, Kenty from Gian. Good evening. And everybody, yes, good job, Gian. Yes, right. 40 hours. Yes, that's amazing. Gian said, thank you. 44 hours, right? It isn't hard. It isn't a hard time. Well, very good. Yeah. So as we fast longer and longer, what we find is that it gets. I was gonna say easier, but it gets simpler, right? It doesn't get easier per se. It gets simpler. So you're able to more effectively do it without being pulled off course, because you now have a rhythm. Kenty said, we all have struggles. Kenty says, structure is greater than motivation. That's right. Kenty says, do better than last time. And that is, oh man, I love that. Let me pause there for a second. So the concept there, and it's one that we need to explore. Maybe we'll do that in a future episode. Is that my fast this week? Simply, it doesn't have to be the whole fast. It simply has to be better than the fast I did before. And this idea, do better than the last time. And so often we want to be there now. We want to have achieved it 100% there now. But no, we just simply have to do better than the last time. Okay? 44 hours is very, very nice. Yes, decided I love struggle. Let's see. Kenty is smiling. Up to you to decide. Use food as buffer or deal with the issues head on. Yep, it is a choice. It is a choice. And the structures, once again, going back to the structure, I'm going to drill that in. The structures that we put in place help us to get through that choice. Like our COPE model, right? It's a very good model on how we deal with all of those things as we get through the various parts of our lives. And you want to make sure that you understand those, but make sure you understand what's going on in your body, understand the tools that we have access to, and the tools that we can use. Hey, so we're coming back tomorrow. We're going to do our pop-up at 48 hours tomorrow afternoon, right around 1:30-ish. As we continue into this fast. Come on back if you're fasting with us today. If you fasted yesterday, put a 1. Fasting today, of course, put a 2. And then fasting tomorrow into tomorrow, or starting tomorrow, put a 3. And I forgot to say, if you are fasting the entire time, go ahead and put a T. Right? So 1 for the first day, 2 for the second day, 3 for the third day. And if you're fasting the entire time, go ahead and put a T if you're joining me for that entire process. Okay? So we're back tomorrow for the pop-up. Tomorrow night, we'll do our check-in at 56 hours. Come on back. And then on Friday, we'll do our complete review of fasting, how to prepare for the fast, how to get through the fast, what's going on in our body, and then how to break the fast. And you'll get to see what I eat for the first time, y'all, after 72 hours of fasting. I'm always excited when I get to hang out with you. Always excited to be in this space to see the benefits that you're getting and to see what is going on in your lives. I welcome everyone who's there, all of our new. We're going to do a scroll in one of our other episodes to show, to just welcome the new folks who are here and to shout out our existing members. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life. Avoid complications. Go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. Let's go ahead and we'll take a look at that promo for our move, and then we'll be out of here. And here we go. Promo somewhere. Okay. Well, maybe we won't. You guys get to see me. That's all right. That's all right. Here we go. Here's a promo. Welcome to Move, metabolic optimization via exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is Move. Let's get started.